On their way to school, Tamara and Ever tease each other about their crushes. Tamara gets distracted, complaining about their antisocial tendencies. Ever tries to make her stop, but it's too late. The car collides with a bicycle, sending Randall flying into the trash. Randall, furious, starts ranting, but instantly stops when he sees Tamara. He's about to ask her out when suddenly a slushie hits him in the face. It was thrown by Danny, who is driving with his best friend Hunt and girlfriend Yassi. Despite this, Tamara still talks nicely to them, desperate to be liked by the popular crowd. Ever suggests offering Randall a ride, but Tamara refuses. At school, the class prepares for a field trip. Coach Lorenzo, the gym teacher, collects everyone's phones and mocks Ever when she admits she doesn't own one. Before departure, Lorenzo gives a corny speech about connecting with nature. Hours into the drive, Lorenzo realizes Wayne has taken the wrong road. The two argue, distracting Wayne until the bus slams into something. Blood splatters across the windshield. Unable to see, Wayne loses control, crashing through a fence and down a hill before hitting the brakes. The violent stop injures everyone. Some students hit their heads and others vomit. G breaks her nose, but Lorenzo simply tells her to cover it up. Suddenly, the bus shakes. Something is moving outside, banging on the frame. Then the radio crackles with an emergency broadcast from the Office of Civil Defense. Citizens are to evacuate immediately due to a chemical attack. Before anyone can process this, a figure appears at the door. Lorenzo insists on opening it, despite protests from Wayne and the students. The moment the door swings open, the stranger lunges at Lorenzo and bites his face. A zombie. Panic erupts. The teens scramble for the emergency exit. Candace trips, is trampled, and coughs blood. Ever tries to pull her out, but the zombie drags Candace back into the bus. Ever bolts into the woods. Disoriented in a thick fog, Ever nearly loses her way, but eventually reunites with Tamara. A distant roar drives the survivors forward until they find a building. Inside, Danny slips on a pool of blood and lands on the intestines of a dead horse. Disgusted, the others refuse to help, forcing him to crawl out. The group moves on and finds another building. They hear unsettling roars inside, but with zombies approaching from behind, they are forced to enter. Tensions rise. Danny mocks the situation, claiming zombies don't exist. While scavenging, they discover creepy stuffed animals surrounded by candles, but also find tools and furniture to barricade the exits. While blocking a window, Tamara thinks she sees someone outside and hears a woman scream, but Hunt's rude comments snap her out of it. Meanwhile, Steven promises Ever he'll protect her, bragging about his experience from tabletop games. Randall warns Ever that Tamara will ditch her for the popular kids. Meanwhile, JC tries to convince Tamara to abandon Ever for their group. Just as they finish barricading, they hear Candace's voice calling for help. Ever sees her outside and insists they must rescue her. Randall restrains her, pointing out the zombie lurking near the door. The group holds their breath until it leaves. But when the zombie climbs onto a van, Ever can't resist. She calls Candace from the window. Candace runs toward the building, but the zombie tackles her and brutally smashes her head. Suddenly, Candace's corpse is hurled against the door, breaking it down. Zombies pour in. Danny smashes Wayne with a plank, creating a gap for escape. The teens rush into another room, struggling to hold the door as Wayne pushes from the other side. They finally manage to lock it. Inside, they discover rave remnants, graffiti, glow sticks, and, behind a curtain, their classmate Ryan, who claims he saw classmates attacked and changed. Danny still refuses to believe in zombies. But before they can argue further, the first zombie opens the back door, bringing more of its kind. Trapped, the teens frantically search for another exit. Randall breaks through a plank covering a hole in the wall. Hunt fights off zombies but gets surrounded. Danny tries to save him, but Hunt is dragged away by the horde. Ryan squeezes through the hole, injuring himself, and Ever shoves him out with all her strength before following. A zombie nearly pounces on her, but Danny returns, saving her. They regroup, blocking the hole again. In the next room, creepy mannequins and clown dolls await. Danny breaks down over losing Hunt, blaming Ever for revealing their location earlier. The mannequins eerily resemble the group, and Ever notices hers is blank-faced. Suddenly, Wayne crashes through the dolls, The group dodges, but not before Tamara is smeared with his blood. Randall snaps, viciously bashing Wayne's head until he lies motionless. The group praises Randall, even hugging him, which leaves Ever uneasy. From Wayne's pocket, she notices drug paraphernalia and takes his lighter. Then Danny collapses, revealing he was injected during the fight. Despite his condition, he insists he'll save Hunt and storms off. On the stairs, Danny grows dizzy. Ryan offers him water, calling him Daniel. Enraged, Danny shoves him, confessing he had to reinvent himself to stop hating who he was. Before it escalates, Wayne bursts in, tackling Danny out the window. They fall hard. Believing him dead, the group mourns, until Danny's twisted body suddenly rises and sprints into the distance. Randall now tries to take charge, insisting they stay barricaded. Ever argues they need to escape and retrieve their phones. She creates a distraction with flaming paint cans, drawing zombies away from the van. Ignoring Tamara's pleas, she storms off with Steven, who volunteers to help. At the bus, they find Lorenzo's corpse in his broken bag of phones. Devastated, Ever breaks down, believing she's a failure. Steven comforts her, and they nearly kiss until the bus radio beeps. Ever discovers the emergency broadcast was pre-recorded. Realization hits. They were set up. Before she can act, Steven injects her with a paralyzing substance. Apologizing. As Ever collapses, Randall steps out, congratulating him. A flashback reveals the truth. Randall and Steven orchestrated the zombie horror to scare the popular kids and play heroes. Chip, a shady dealer, supplied the green drug that turned classmates into mindless creatures. Wayne, harassed by Lorenzo, also joined the scheme. But Chip took things too far, killing Lorenzo and escalating the violence. In the present, Chip rants about revenge against bullies, strapping on a glove of syringes. Randall decides they must kill everyone now to avoid prison. Ever, hallucinating Lorenzo, musters strength and brutally beats Chip to death with a boombox. Meanwhile, Randall manipulates the others, arming them to fight the zombies, while Steven secretly opens the cage of drug classmates. But Ever arrives just in time, exposing the truth. Tamara sides with Ever, smashing Randall into a mural depicting his fantasy of being Tamara's hero. Steven is dragged into the cage by the victims and beaten. Randall, furious, fights Ever with a sword. She arms herself with Chip's syringe glove, stabbing him in the face before shoving him down the stairs. Though Randall briefly revives in a violent frenzy, the group unites, pummeling him until Ever finishes him off with a sword strike. By dawn, survivors regroup. Wayne, Steven, and Randall are tied outside. The class begins reconciling, popular kids and outcasts finally united. Ever and Tamara make amends, realizing they need each other. Together, the group removes Chip's body and begins moving forward.